Hello, welcome to Stampin' by Hannah and to the second part of my Card Making 101 series. Today I thought we would discuss tools, and I have a room full of tools for card making, but you really don't need that much. So I thought I would show you my top 6 card making tools that I use all the time and sit next to me on the desk all the time. And then maybe in a few weeks we'll go over some of the other tools that I use for card making. The first one I actually showed you last week is my Stampin Trimmer. I've used loads of trimmers over the years. I also have a Fiskars trimmer that I do take out and about. This one comes with me to classes and events, but I do also have a Fiskars one that I use as a kind of extra. I probably should get another one of these, but the Fiskars one was on hand. So this is my Stampin' Trimmer. The reason I prefer this one to the Fiskars one is the wider footbed. The Fiskars one I've got is only 4 inches to here, and it doesn't have any measurements this side. The nice thing about the Stampin' Trimmer is that, I don't know if you can see this, it's got a 6-inch footbed this way and a 1 1/4 inch footbed that way, which means that if you're cutting little bits of cardstock, it's actually sometimes easier to butt it up this side and cut that way rather than the other way. This trimmer also comes with a really nice long extending arm, and it extends all the way out to 14 inches or 36 centimetres, then it just folds away. We've also got, I currently am using the this arm, the standard arm, or we do have a rotary arm attachment available. This arm has 2 blades, a light grey blade, which is our scoring blade, and our dark grey blade, which is our cutting blade. They're really easy to replace. If you just slide them along to the bottom, you will see, if you can see this, there is a slightly wider bit. No, you can't see that at all. Let's turn the trim around so you can see the very bottom. Just here, it gets just a little bit wider, and that means that you can slide, you can see my light bulb, sorry, you slide your blade up into that bit, that wider section, and they will just pop out. I'm holding mine up, put it down on the table, and it will just, she says, pop out. There we go. And then you take a new one, take it out of the packet and pop it straight back in. And it's not going to fly off in the middle of there, that's not coming off. We also have a replacement cutting mat, and this has 4 sides, it's a cube. 2 sides have the groove in, and the other side, 2 sides are flat. The flat sides are for use with the rotary attachment, and the grooved side is for the standard attachment. You might find it gets gunked up and a bit furry with bits of paper and things. You can wash them, but they are also completely replaceable. If you find that your trimmer is starting to cut a bit wobbly, it may be that you need to turn it over, or if you already turned it, to buy a new one. They're in the catalogue. If you need to find them, drop me a link and I'll find them in the catalogue for you. This arm is really easy to take off. As you can see, there is some movement in it up and down, and you just push it up and pull it out, and it will slot back in just as easily. This arm also locks into place with the button at the top, which means it's not going to move during transit. And then on the other side we also have a really handy storage compartment for your spare blades, bone folder and other things you're carrying to classes. So that is my number 1 tool, my Stampin' Trimmer. I also regularly use my paper snips. You will have seen these on camera a lot. They're really handy. They're a really nice sharp pair of scissors, and they're sharp all the way to the tip. Mine could do with a bit of a clean. I've had a couple of questions about my scissor charm. I actually got this from a fellow demonstrator as a swap at our recent regional training event. I have no idea where she got them from, but it's so pretty. It's a lovely little merry-go-round horse, and I think it's fabulous. I was really, really surprised when that turned up in my swaps. I was like, oh, love that, thank you very much. My bone folder. I use the Stampin' Up bone folder, and the reason I use this one is because it's a heavier weight. I've used plastic bone folders in the past, and I've got to say this one is my favourite. It isn't plastic. You get a smooth crease, and it's that bit heavier, so it's really, it just feels nice in your hand. It's lovely. I do still have a plastic bone folder, but I use it for spreading ink now onto ink pads. My next most regularly used tool is probably my paper piercer. It's a paper piercer. It's designed for piercing paper, but I use it more often for picking up glue dots or candy dots or the back off tape and that kind of thing. I actually have two of these. I have one that I use for sticky things like picking up glue dots and things, and I have one that I do actually keep exclusively for paper piercing, because this one does get so gunky. This is my glue one. My paper piercing one I actually keep, and it's not even that one, it's this one I've just dropped on the floor. I actually keep in the tube that it comes in, and it's got a piece of washi tape around it, so I know that this is the one I use for paper piercing, and it's got the washi on the outside as well. Then my ball tool. Now my ball tool came in with my Simply Scored scoring tool, also another fabulous tool to have, but not absolutely necessary, but I do use this a lot for poking ribbon through holes. Really handy for poking ribbon through holes. It's got two ends. You've got a small ball end, you see that, and a larger ball end. Small ball end is for scoring cardstock, and the larger one is for DSP, and it's a ball tool and it's really handy. And then the one tool I use in my craft room so often isn't made by Stampin' Up. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? It really is. But it's a really cheap emery board. And I've got a funny story about this emery board. A couple of months ago, one of my downline came round to my house for a nice crafty afternoon, and she'd either pre-cut some cardstock at home or used my trimmer with an old blade on, and it had some wispy bits on the edge. She said, "Oh no, I've wasted a piece of cardstock." I said, "No, just file it down." She went, "What do you mean?" So I got out my emery board. I actually have 3 of these in my little craft trolley, and I use it all the time just for taking those edges, those rough edges, off the sides of cardstock when you've used a slightly older blade with your Stampin' Trimmer. I use this all the time. It's fabulous. And it was really cheap. I think this was in the pound shop. I think I got 20. I've had them for so long, but they're wonderful. Brilliant tool. So that is Stampin' by Hannah's Cardmaking 101, part 2. And I hope to see you again next week. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.